My name is Thomas McKenna. I'm the Associate Director for our Freshman Admissions team. And like Malik said, I am a two-time graduate of Shenandoah. So like Malik, I also earned my MBA in addition to my undergraduate degree from our School of Business as well. So we're really excited to have you all here. We have a full event for you. We're going to have this presentation. And after that, you're actually going to have the opportunity to hear from a group of current Shenandoah students to share their perspective with you all. And then we have an opportunity for you to participate in some optional breakout sessions after the main presentation and student panel have concluded. That's going to be a really great opportunity for you to get some specific information about some of the different academic programs that you might be considering. So we hope that you all can join those for us. Really, I want you guys to take away from tonight is that we have a team of admissions counselors that are all here to assist you as you navigate your college search process. We know this is a really important time for you, and it may be made more difficult because of everything going on with COVID, but we want you to know that we're here to support you and assist you. So please feel free to utilize our services after tonight. Reach out to us with any questions that you have, or if there's anything that we can do to help you throughout this process, definitely let us know. All right, so I'm going to jump right in. To start, I do want to point out you'll be able to switch your presentation mode to side-by-side mode. So here on this first slide that we're going to show, it's going to show you how to do that. I encourage you to do that because that'll allow you to kind of experience the presentation the way we have it set up for you. All right, so as we get into everything, I first want to start by really introducing you all to what Shenandoah is, who we are as a community, who we are as an institution. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of Shenandoah and my personal experience is the word community. Shenandoah is a place where everybody has the opportunity to get together, share in their different experiences, but also all part of the same community of people, of students, of faculty. It's a very supportive environment where you're going to get the help that you need to be successful and achieve the goals that you have, both academically and the goals that you have after college as well. At Shenandoah, we are not a traditional liberal arts institution. We like to consider ourselves more of an applied institution. Our students have professional goals, and we want to make sure that what they're doing while they're at Shenandoah is preparing them for those professional goals. So you're going to get a wide breadth of study that's going to kind of expose you to a bunch of different areas of academic interest and any other interests that you might have and that you want to explore. But then you're also going to get a really deep slice of professional preparation as part of your education as well. The training that's going to prepare you for what it's going to take to get a job in your field of study when you leave Shenandoah, or to continue on to a graduate program if your individual academic area does require a graduate level degree to be successful. So that professional preparation is a big piece of your education, and we provide that in a number of different ways, including internships, experiential learning opportunities, relationships with your faculty who have experience in those fields. And that's really what our goal is to make sure we're preparing you for both the kind of broad education as well as your professional careers. All right, so before we get into some of the student experience that Shenandoah has to offer, I want to cover some of the basics about our academic programs that are offered. At Shenandoah, we have a number of different things that our students are doing while they're on campus. For our undergraduate students, there are over 80 different academic areas of study to choose from. So for a smaller size institution like Shenandoah, that's really unique to be able to offer that kind of a wide array of academic areas. Our largest academic college that's offered is our College of Arts and Sciences. It's really diverse in terms of the academic areas that you can choose from in the College of Arts and Sciences. Pretty much everything ranging from the natural sciences, social sciences, and humanities-based programs. One thing I really think is valuable to know about the College of Arts and Sciences, as well as all the other academic colleges at Shenandoah, is that it's really innovative in terms of what we're preparing our students to do. So as careers and professions and trajectories are popping up and new careers are coming into play for students, we want to make sure we have options to prepare them for those as well. So for example, we have our Division of Applied Technology, which is one of the newest divisions on campus, which is preparing students for careers in programs like computer science, information technology, data analytics, virtual reality design. We're actually one of the only programs, only schools in the country to offer a virtual reality design major, where our students are creating those 360 virtual reality experiences. So a lot of different opportunities to pursue different programs of interest in the College of Arts and Sciences. If you have individual interests that maybe outside of your academic area, there's also a number of different ways that you can focus on minors or double majors to really have a very broad experience while still preparing for that individual career that you're looking to move forward with. We also have our School of Business. So like Malik mentioned, he's a graduate, two-time graduate now of Shenandoah School of Business, as am I. We offer a Bachelor of Business Administration, which really provides students the opportunity to get a really strong foundation in all areas of business, but also the opportunity to really focus specifically on a specialization or an emphasis area where they're being given that, again, that professional preparation to be successful and get a job in that individual field that they're looking to get into. Some of our specializations include marketing, healthcare management, entrepreneurship, accounting, economics and finance, sport management, which is one of the more popular majors on campus. We even have an e-sport management program at Shenandoah. And just like our virtual reality design program, Shenandoah is one of the first schools in the country to offer e-sport management available as a major. And the head of that program is one of the most widely recognized professionals in his field. So you're learning from somebody who has a lot of really great experience. You're not coming to Shenandoah to study playing video games. You're going to come to Shenandoah to learn about the industry of esports and how to have a successful career in events management, technical support, all the different things that go on behind the scenes of sport management. Our students do have the opportunity to definitely play video games. We have a competitive esports team, but that's not all that the program is made up of. Shenandoah also has our world-renowned conservatory. The conservatory offers a number of different majors available across 3 discipline areas: music, theater, and dance. We have a musical theater program, which is a top 10 nationally recognized program. We have programs in music performance, music therapy, music education, as well as acting, theater design and production, including stage management, costume design. So pretty much everything that is surrounding the performing arts, our students have the opportunity to prepare for those professional careers, both as performers as well as the behind the scenes aspects of those careers. So a lot of really great things that our students are doing in the conservatory. We also have a number of different ways that our students can prepare for careers as healthcare practitioners. One of those is our School of Nursing, where Shenandoah offers a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing degree to our incoming freshmen. It is a direct entry program. So for those students who are interested in nursing, it's important for you to know that when you're applying to Shenandoah's nursing program, you're applying directly to be a nursing major right away in your freshman year. You don't have to go through a pre-nursing track first. You'll be able to come in, and even though you're going to be taking your general education curriculum early on in that career or in that program, you already have a seat in that nursing program, and you get to work with your nursing faculty to prepare for everything that's coming ahead of you. Our nursing program boasts a 98% pass rate on the national licensing exam. So we're really preparing our students very well for what comes after college. And then we also have a couple different graduate level programs where our students are able to prepare for healthcare practitioner degrees as well. They'll start in the College of Arts and Sciences with different programs like pre-pharmacy, pre-physical therapy, pre-athletic training. And then they can continue on to Shenandoah's different graduate level degrees where we're offering doctoral and master's level degrees available in those fields. So a number of different opportunities for our students to prepare for those careers, and really great opportunity for them to get a lot of preparation for what they're going to see at the graduate level. So in your undergraduate degree, you're going to be given all of the basics about your prerequisites and how to prepare for those careers in those fields as well. So there's a number of different ways that you can fast track into your graduate level programs at Shenandoah as well. So, you know, for specifically with those pre-health professions programs, we offer what's called our early assurance opportunities and our articulation agreements with the graduate programs, where you can essentially reserve a seat at the graduate level or have less competition as you're applying for those different graduate level programs. The early assurance opportunity offers students the opportunity to really cut down on time that they're in their undergraduate program. For most of those different degrees, you're able to earn your undergraduate degree within the first 3 years and move on to the graduate program early. So you can see those 3+ programs that are listed there. We also have an opportunity for our students who are studying in the School of Business to do a 4+1 MBA, where after you complete your undergraduate degree, you can enroll for only 1 additional year to complete your MBA. We have a 3+3 theology degree where we work with Wesley University and Wesley Seminary in Washington, D.C., and students can earn their master's in divinity. And then for our students who are studying in our conservatory, there's an opportunity for them to earn a 4+1, similar to our MBA pathway, where you can earn a degree in performing arts leadership management, which is a really great for preparing students for those careers around the performing arts as well. All right, so next we're going to move into a little bit more about our FYS program, which regardless of your academic major when you come in as a freshman, all students will take a first-year seminar course. First-year seminar is a really great opportunity for our incoming students because not only does it give you the opportunity to have a class with all other freshmen, but it's also meant as an introduction to college course, an introduction to how to be successful in the college classroom, but then also how to be successful on the college campus. How to navigate living on a college campus and being responsible for yourself, making sure you're waking up on time for your 8 a.m. classes. Every single class as part of the FYS program has a student mentor who is an upperclassman at Shenandoah, and that person is there to really help you get adjusted to studying in a college environment. They do it in a really cool way where you're taking non-academic courses. Rather, they take socially relevant topics of things going on around us in the world, and they create classroom discussions and classroom topics around those different areas. So we have courses on, a global pandemic. We have courses on social justice and racial injustice. One of my favorite courses is a really theoretical course. It's based on the television show The Walking Dead, where they go into what would happen if a zombie apocalypse occurred in different cultures all around the world. How would they recover? How would they rebuild? And the idea is that it's supposed to prepare our students for the type of critical thinking skills they're going to need to be successful while they're in college. Okay. Something else that you'll start in your FYS program is really this idea of working with technology that you're going to see at the graduate level as well. So Shenandoah has something called the I Am Learning program, which is really cool. Every student, when you come in as a freshman, you'll be given a MacBook Pro, an iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil. Those will be yours to use for all 4 years that you're a student. They'll also be yours to use, when you graduate as well. They'll be yours to keep. So really great opportunity to work with some really great technology. We want to make sure that our students are prepared with what they're going to see in the professional environment when they leave. So in addition to the devices that you'll get from our I Am Learning program, you're also going to be working with a lot of technology across the board within our individual academic programs. Just a second ago, you saw the soundboard that our music production recording technology students get to work with. We also have our nursing students are working with these simulation rooms, which you can see on the screen now, where they're working with these really lifelike mannequins that represent real patients and what they'll be doing with real patients in the nursing fields. But the nice thing about that is if they make a mistake, they're able to learn from their mistakes without having the repercussions of actually working with a real patient. So it's a really great learning environment where they get the opportunity to take some of those experiences and apply them to what they're doing in the classroom and prepare for what comes next after college as well. I think some of my favorite ways that we use technology are with our virtual reality program. So not only are those students creating virtual reality experiences on campus, but they're also collaborating with a lot of other academic programs to provide virtual reality training. So we have students that are doing virtual reality simulations for healthcare environments. So our nursing program actually works with these medical escape rooms where you have to have a list of objectives that you need to get through, and you are controlling that simulation just like you would be in the medical environment, which is a really cool way to use that. So, all right, and we hope that kind of the FYS program, just like preparing you for your technology, is also going to prepare you for a global experience at Shenandoah as well. So part of Shenandoah's mission statement is to educate our students as global citizens. And we want you to find ways that you can make an impact within your immediate community, but also ways that you can make an impact in the greater community as well. Start thinking a little bit bigger than just your experience and your perspective. So we have a number of different opportunities for students to study abroad. We have traditional study abroad where you can, pick a semester or a full year and study abroad within your academic program and stay on track to graduate within 4 years. We also have a really great program called our Global Experiential Learning opportunities, and the GEL trips for short. They offer you the opportunity to not commit to a full semester. So for our student performers and student athletes who don't want to be away from campus for a full semester or a full year, you can still travel abroad, earn credit for the time that you're overseas, but it's not as long-term of a commitment. And you're typically doing something very hands-on. Those global experiential learning opportunities are meant to prepare you for a real life experience where you're doing something related to your academic field and having that opportunity to be very hands-on with what you're doing as well. My favorite opportunity to travel easily is our Global Citizenship Project. A lot of these photos are from our GCP program. GCP is unlike the others, not a 4-credit trip. It's more of just a cultural immersion program. We really want our students to have the opportunity to explore the world. Every year we send out about 6 different trips to places all over the world. The trick with GCP is when you apply in the fall, you don't know where the trips are going. So if you're selected for one of those opportunities, you'd find out after you're actually selected as a participant where your trip is going to be going. So it's really cool. You don't have to wait until you get to the airport. They'll definitely let you know ahead of time, but it is completely paid for by the university. So everything that you do for that trip, with the exception of, you know, having an active passport and any souvenir money that you want to bring with you, all those expenses are covered by the institution. So really part of that global experience, like I mentioned, we want our students to be exposed to multiple perspectives, people who think differently than them, people who have had different experiences from them. That's done through the global experiences that we offer, but it's also done on a daily basis on campus as well. So Shenandoah has something that we call Shenandoah Conversations. It's an opportunity for students to really be pushed outside of their comfort zones in a lot of different ways. So it's done in the FYS program. It's done in a lot of the other classes that you'll be taking, where topics that are really relevant to what's going on around us in the world are talked about in the classroom. And the idea is that students will be sharing multiple perspectives, hearing from people who have different perspectives and different experiences than them. And the idea is that it will push you outside of your comfort zone. Maybe you have people who have different thoughts and who disagree with what you think. And so you can learn those skills of how to manage that and have constructive conversations rather than just butting heads with people because you disagree with them. Because having a constructive conversation is going to yield a lot greater results than just disagreeing with somebody. We also have our Center for Diversity and Inclusion, the Mosaic Center for Diversity and Inclusion, which is a really great opportunity for students who identify with minority groups on campus to have a place where they can find people like them and feel a part of a community. It's also just a great way for students in general to be exposed, again, to multiple perspectives and people who have had different experiences so that they can broaden their horizons and become better individuals with a more broad kind of outlook on life. So, all right, at this point, I want to switch gears a little bit. We're going to switch from the kind of the academic experience to the campus life experience. One of my recommendations to students as I'm working with them throughout the application process is always to certainly find a college where you can thrive with the academic program, but also find a place that's going to be a good fit for you in terms of your campus life as well, because that's going to be a big part of your experience, any college that you decide to go to. So at Shenandoah, we do guarantee housing on campus for all 4 years. About 90% of our incoming freshman class every year does choose to live on campus. So it is a residential campus, and there's always a lot going on campus as well. You heard Malik in his introduction talk about living in Racy Hall, which is one of our traditional hall style setups with community style bathroom, community style showers. I also lived in a setup like that in Funkhauser Hall. I loved it. Honestly, it was one of my favorite living experiences on campus as well. You have, the opportunity to just meet new people and really be in that environment that is going to be, just really constructive to your freshman year. So everybody at the end of the day had their door open. My recommendation is, if you can stomach it, if you're not afraid of the idea of community style bathrooms, live in one of those community style residence halls, because it really is a great experience. But we also do have other options on campus, including quad style and suite style. So for students who, maybe don't feel comfortable in that community style, you have those options available as well. And then for our upperclassmen, like I said, we guarantee housing for all 4 years. So when you get to your junior and senior year, you have the opportunity to live in apartments on campus where you're living independently, but still right on the main campus. So it's just really easy to take advantage of all the different resources and things that are happening on campus on a regular basis. Dining next, which is my favorite topic to talk about easily. One of the things I want you to take away from today is there's a lot of really great food options both on campus and in the Winchester area. My favorite dining hall on campus is easily Allen Dining Hall. In a normal year without COVID, Allen Dining Hall is all you can eat buffet style setup. So I was a student athlete when I was at Shenandoah. I ran track and field, and Allen Dining Hall was my favorite place to go after a hard practice because you could literally stay in there until they shut it down. They have a number of different options available for students to choose from on a daily basis. You can see the way the buffets are set up here, but always something different to choose from. And they always have different, great options for the students to eat. We also have our food court over in our student center, which has more made to order options, but really great options as well. Jasmine's Cafe is one of my favorite places to visit now as a staff member because They offer really great coffee, specialty coffee drinks and breakfast sandwiches, things like that. And then our newest dining hall on campus is Buzzins, which is more of a sit-down dining experience as well. And then I would say next to Allen Dining Hall, my other favorite part of our campus dining or off-campus dining really is what we call our flex spending. Students have the opportunity to use flex spending dollars at a lot of locations all around campus. When I was a student, honestly, I spent all of mine at Chipotle every single semester, but other places all across town like Tropical Smoothie, the Sheets right across the street, they'll essentially accept this flex spending just like a debit card. So it's a really great way to get off of campus, explore the local area, and have some food in the Winchester area as well. And then Winchester itself has a lot of really great options too. So I always recommend check out our Winchester Downtown Walking Mall. It's beautiful. It's where a lot of the students choose to spend their time on weekends and evenings. But there's a lot of really great local dining places down there to choose from too. So, all right. Some of the different ways that you're going to stay involved on campus are through clubs and organizations. So a lot of different things that we have available. You see here we have 90 plus clubs and organizations on campus. And they really range from everything from social-based clubs to academic clubs, spiritual life, a bunch of different opportunities for our students to get involved. So you're going to see a couple different highlights from some of the different clubs and organizations on the screen as we go through this part of the presentation. I always love to highlight our debate team because that was a newer club on campus when they first competed in a national championship. And they actually won in their first year a national championship where they're competing against some really high level names in terms of other colleges and universities. And they finished as a runner-up in their second year as an organization. So really cool to see them be successful. We have the Loaf, which for our students interested in theater is an improv group on campus. We have, like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, our esports competitive team where they get to play in our esports arena on campus, which I know is one of Malik's favorite spots on campus as well. So a bunch of different really cool things to choose from to stay involved. Important thing to know is that there's always different things going on campus. Students who complain that there's not as much to do are the ones that are sitting up in their rooms not doing anything. So as long as you're proactive and find ways to get involved, one of my favorite things about being at a smaller institution was you can really get involved at a very high level with the different things that you participate in because typically you don't have to fight through humongous crowds to get involved in your interests. It's also very easy to get things started for things that you might be interested in that aren't available at Shenandoah. So for those clubs and organizations that you'd like to participate in, all it takes are 2 students who are interested, and you can actually get fully funded by our Student Life program for the first year to get your club up and running and see if you have additional support moving forward. So one of my favorite things about our Student Life is that it truly represents the things that our students are interested in doing while they're here, because it's very easy to get those different things funded so that you can find ways to participate and follow your interests. Spiritual life is another way that our students stay very involved on campus. Actually, first I'll talk about intramural sports. Intramural sports was easily my favorite thing to do in terms of my individual experience. I mentioned I was a track and field athlete, but in high school I was a 3-sport athlete, so I really loved slow pitch softball and intramural flag football and intramural basketball. It's a really great way to have friendly competition, although sometimes it may not seem so friendly amongst your peers. I know now we have a staff team that loves to go out and compete against the students. Malik, over the last couple of years, has competed on our student team, but I'm really trying to have a push for him once we get our intramural sports back up and running to get him to come over to the dark side on the staff team. Maybe now that he's earned his MBA, we can get him to do that. But a lot of really great ways to get involved with on-campus sports. Outdoor adventure and recreation is also a really great way to take advantage of our local area. If you've been to the Winchester area, it's right in the northern part of the Shenandoah Valley. So a lot of really great, beautiful outdoor opportunities to take advantage of. We actually have an outdoor campus, which is about 200 acres located at our Cool Springs property. And it's really untouched. There's a bunch of different hiking trails and biking trails. It's right on the Shenandoah River. So they'll host different student life trips that are available for students, like kayaking and rafting on the river, a bunch of different cool things to stay involved with. They also have larger scale trips. Like I know one thing that I love to do, I was not a great skier or snowboarder, but every year we have a ski trip that goes out to a local resort. It's a weekend trip where you pay, I think it was somewhere around $125, $150. And for that whole weekend, you get the opportunity to get your ski lift tickets, your rental equipment, your room paid for. So when you consider everything that you get for that, that's easily our most expensive student life trip on campus. But when you consider everything that you get for that, it really is a terrific deal. So a bunch of different ways to take advantage of that. You see our snow tubing. That was probably what I was better at. I spent more time in the tube and less time on my butt as I was going down the slopes. But like I was started to mention before, our spiritual life programs on campus are also a number of ways that our students stay involved. Shenandoah is a Methodist affiliated institution. Although the affiliation with the Methodist Church is fairly loose, there's certainly not a requirement of our students to be Methodist or to take religious courses. There's a number of different ways that our students are pursuing and having opportunities to have their individual faiths as part of their experience as well. So we do offer services on campus that are non-denominational, but then there's also different ways that our students are pursuing their individual faiths with campus ministries and student organizations surrounding spiritual life, where you can really get involved and find ways to worship in your own religion as well. You see on the screen here, Dr. Justin Allen, who is the head of our spiritual life program and our student life program. And he's got a great relationship with students, and he's always looking for ways to make their experience better on campus. I mentioned before the Winchester area. One thing that our university is really passionate about is finding ways for our students to get involved and give back to the local area. So we're really passionate about community service. Every year, one of my favorite events in the Winchester area is our Apple Blossom Parade. And it's really just a great way for Shenandoah to go out and for our students to showcase all the different things that we do in the local area. So there's a big parade where our students are very involved. But outside of that, our students get involved with Relay for Life, the American Cancer Association. We have the Boys and Girls Club, Habitat for Humanity, the local SPCA, a bunch of different ways that you can volunteer and give back to campus, to the local community here in Winchester. And because of that, we have a really terrific relationship with Winchester as well. So all the people from the Winchester area are always coming out and supporting our students at our different athletics events and our conservatory performances because they value so much what our students do for the community in Winchester as well. So speaking of the conservatory, that's really a great way that our students are staying involved as well. So every year there are over 400 different performances for our students to take advantage of. Cool thing about our performances is those are students that are performing, students that are going on for careers in music, theater, and dance. And they have the opportunity to see those performances and our students showcasing their talents for free. All of our different conservatory performances are free for all students to attend. They're all not the large main stage productions. Some of them are individual recitals, dance concerts, but we have awesome conservatory performances every year and conservatory shows. So even if it's not part of your individual academic experience, I always recommend go out and take advantage of the different things that are going on in the conservatory. My freshman year roommate was actually a musical theater major. We were completely different in our student experience. But he would come out and support me at my track and field meets. I would go and support him at his different shows. And something he was really passionate about was directing and writing. So when he got into his upperclassmen years, he actually had the opportunity to participate in a lot of student-led directing projects. And to see him showcase kind of his own thoughts and his talents in that environment was really cool for me because I knew him well and I knew how proud he was of the work that he did. So like I said, even if it's not part of your individual academic experience, go out and experience some of the different things that our conservatory is doing on a regular basis. Right now, we actually have our holiday gala going on, which typically is on campus, a one-day event, but with everything going on with COVID, they've expanded that and they're doing it all throughout this month. They have different performances, which are available online. And it's really cool to, again, see those students and faculty showcase what they're doing and showcase their talents. All right, so I mentioned I was a student athlete at Shenandoah. I know Malik was also a student athlete on our football team. Overall, about 1/4 of Shenandoah students are student athletes. It really is a huge part of our campus community. We are Division III. We compete in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, and there are 22 varsity teams at Shenandoah, so a bunch of different ways that our students are able to participate. Wrestling is actually our newest addition to our competitive teams, but a bunch of different cool things that our students are doing in terms of athletics. And just like all of our conservatory performances, all of the athletics events on campus are free for all students to attend as well. So again, go out and support your peers because these are the students that are living with you in the residence halls, eating with you in the dining hall. Cool thing, in my opinion, about the Division III experience is you truly are a student athlete at Division III. You were here on campus to earn a degree, but you have that opportunity to continue competing with your interest in sports. We have a lot of students that go on to be successful. A couple years ago, we actually had one of our baseball players who was drafted by the Washington Nationals. We also have a number of students who go on to have professional careers with professional sports teams outside of, athletes, but working in, ownership and the management of those different professional sports teams. So a bunch of different things that you can do around sports. But I think the important thing to know is that our student athletes are successful both in the classroom as well as on the field and on the court. I think a great example of that is our women's basketball team. A couple years ago in 2019, our women's basketball team actually was the 8th seed going into the conference championship. And they completed a Cinderella upset. They were the last seed going into the tournament, but they went on to win the championship. The year they won the championship, they also had the highest team GPA of any women's basketball team across the country. So I just think they're a really terrific example of how our students are succeeding both in the classroom and in their individual sport. Okay. You can also see some additional highlights. I think another really cool one to point out are quarterback of our football team in 2019, Hayden Bowserman. He was actually a finalist for the Gagliardi Award. The Gagliardi Award is the equivalent of the Division III Heisman Award. So it was really cool to see him be so successful as well. All right, so at this point, I want to transition. We're going to talk about some of the different support services that Shenandoah was able to offer. I think that's one of the biggest advantages to attending a smaller university like Shenandoah. We really have the resources to support all of our students and make sure they're successful while they're with us. I think it starts really with our academic support. At Shenandoah, we have our Learning Resources Center where they provide a number of different services, including peer tutoring, academic coaches, our math center and writing center, but a bunch of different things that they can do to make sure that while you're in the classroom, you have the support that you need to be successful. You can also get a job on campus as a tutor. If you're doing really well in your subjects, you can get a job to earn a little extra cash by tutoring some of your peers. We have a wellness center on campus. Important thing to know about a wellness center is we want to make sure that you're healthy physically, mentally, and emotionally. It's hard to be successful when you're dealing with things, whether it's your physical health or your mental health. So they have resources on campus to make sure that they're there to support you at no additional cost. So we have our physical health and wellness center, as well as our mental health counseling center too. Public safety, we have our public safety officers on campus 24/7, 365 days a year. So really the important thing to know about that office is that they're there to make sure our students are safe while they're on campus. So they have a really, really great relationship with the students. Up on the screen now, you see some of the different resources they provide, like our Safe Ride program, where if you ever feel unsafe, campus safety will come and pick you up, bring you back to your residence hall. We also have our mobile emergency alert service, where you can sign up for text messages alerts to make sure anytime anything is going on campus, you're notified. And the cool thing about that is parents can also sign up for that from home. So tomorrow we're expecting a big winter storm. So all of our students will be notified and our staff will be notified by our mobile emergency alert service about that. Finally, I want to talk about a career and professional development center. I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, Shenandoah's commitment to that professional development piece of your education. I think our career services or career and professional development office really is a great example of that. I always recommend for students to take advantage of what they can provide early on in your career as a student at Shenandoah. Don't wait until your senior year, even if you just need help writing your resume or building your cover letter. If you start as early as your freshman year, you can do different things like major in career exploration, have a mentorship program where you can be paired up with somebody who's working in your field of interest, and they can help you start to think about what you need to do as a student to prepare for what comes next after college as well. So a bunch of different things they can do to help you, including internships and looking for graduate school. But if you start to work for them earlier, by the time you get to your senior year, you'll be ready for what comes next after college, whether that's a graduate school or your first job. All right, so now before we finish up and head over to the student panel, I do want to talk about some of the different ways that, some of the different outcomes that you'll see as a student. So up on the screen now, you see some different highlights of our most recent graduating class from 2019. So first one is median salary. So median salary of $54,000 for our graduates that were surveyed. I think that's really important to know that when you leave Shenandoah, you're going to be ready to start that next phase of your life, start to provide for yourself. You don't have to move back in with your mom and dad in their basement. You'll be able to start, your independent life, not only get a job, but also be prepared to start supporting yourself. We also had 83% of our students surveyed completed some sort of experiential learning opportunity, whether it was an internship or one of those global experiential learning trips, something that was a hands-on experience that prepared them for the professional career. And I think arguably the most important piece on this slide is that 93% of our students are either employed, continuing their education at a graduate level program, or doing some sort of volunteer or service work like the Peace Corps. So we're preparing you again for what comes next after college. All right, so at this point, I know that many of our guests that are with us tonight have not applied to Shenandoah or maybe working through that application process. So I wanted to cover some of the basics about how to apply to Shenandoah and some of the things that I recommend considering. So first thing I want you to know is that Shenandoah works on what's called rolling admissions. Our application for fall 2021 is open now. It opened at the beginning of September, and it will stay open until we close our enrollment for the year. So you can apply at any point, and typically you get a decision back for most of our academic programs within about 2 to 3 weeks. The exception of that is our conservatory. Our conservatory does require an audition, and we'll cover some basics about the audition process as you go into that breakout session after the main presentation and student panel. So next, I want to share some of the different pieces that are part of the Shenandoah application. Really, the only thing we need after you apply to Shenandoah is the official high school transcript. We're going to take a look at your academic record in high school. We are not considering SAT or ACT scores for admission or for our merit-based scholarships anymore. So there's no need to send those to Shenandoah. Even if you have taken them, they won't play a piece in the admissions process. And finally, like I mentioned, the audition piece for our conservatory programs in music, theater, and dance. But like I mentioned, our counselors are going to go over more details about the audition process during the breakout section. So, all right. As we look over your transcript and your high school record, here's some things that we're looking for. So we are looking for 3 years of a math at minimum, and that is up to Algebra 2. So if you've taken electives past Algebra 2, that's awesome. It's a really great way to prepare for the work that you'll see in college, but we need at least a minimum of Algebra 2. So if you're a junior right now and you haven't taken Algebra 2 yet, make sure that's on your schedule for your senior year. We also recommend 2 years of a foreign language. And here's a tip about applying to our College of Arts and Sciences. If you have the opportunity to take 4 years of the same language in high school, it will actually completely waive your foreign language requirement at Shenandoah. Our College of Arts and Sciences does have a foreign language requirement as part of your general education curriculum. But if you've taken 4 years of a language in high school, that will completely satisfy that requirement for your Shenandoah experience as well. So I see Raylan said she took 3 years of French, which is awesome. You will definitely have the opportunity to take a placement exam. So you don't necessarily have to come in at our lowest level course for a foreign language. You'll have the opportunity to take a placement exam. So if you have experience within your language, you can still test into one of our higher level electives, but you still will have to take at least some, likely our 201 and 202 classes, which are basically the 3rd and 4th electives that are part of that foreign language requirement. Also, another tip is if you've had the opportunity to take AP exams or dual enrollment courses, that's a great way to prepare for college as well. And it's also going to give you the opportunity to earn college credit toward your degree. So make sure you send us your AP scores. Typically a score of 3 or higher transfers in for credit for most of your different courses. And dual enrollment courses with a grade of C or better will transfer in. We also accept IB exams. I believe with the IB exam, it's a 5 or higher on those scores that will transfer into. So just make sure that you're sending us that information. But it's a great way to challenge yourself and prepare for your college education. If you don't have the opportunity to take those courses, that's not going to impact your admission to the university. But for those students who have, it's a great way to prepare for the curriculum and make sure you're getting some additional credit for those. All right, and our application review is holistic. So everything that you send us, we're going to consider during the review process. We do not require a resume, a letter of recommendation, or a personal statement. However, we love to get to know our applicants. So if you have those and you'd like to send them to us, please do. Know that we're going to review them and we're going to look at those. And in a lot of cases, it really helps us as we navigate the review process. So I had last year a student I worked with who suffered a series of concussions. And because she had those concussions, her grades took a dip in her sophomore year. I wouldn't have known that unless she sent me a personal statement. But having that context while I reviewed her application really allowed me to get to know her a little bit better and what was affecting her. So take advantage of those resources to provide us with additional information you'd like us to know about, or just to post about some of the different ways that you've gotten involved and different things that you've done at Shenandoah. And then finally, I want to touch on some of the different financial aid opportunities. We understand that financial aid is going to be a big piece of your college decision. Please know that our admissions counselors are prepared to help you with the financial aid process. And our Office of Financial Aid also has counselors that are going to be able to get really deeper into the weeds with you about what type of aid you might qualify to receive. Every student at Shenandoah qualifies for a merit-based academic scholarship right off the bat. So when you're accepted, we're going to take a look at your academic record and you'll qualify for a scholarship. Those scholarships are guaranteed for 4 years, so it's a really great opportunity to get some aid toward tuition. We also will qualify for additional scholarships, grants, and loans. One of the most popular is our work study program, where you can get a job on campus in exchange for a scholarship. So a bunch of different opportunities to qualify. We also bring in outside scholarships. So I always recommend to students, work with your school counselors, work with the community organizations that you're part of, because a lot of times they provide opportunities for students to apply for scholarships. And we accept outside scholarships up to the cost of attendance. So if you have the opportunity to earn some extra scholarships, feel free to apply for those and bring them into Shenandoah, because we certainly will welcome those as well. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I really had a great time speaking with you all. Like you've been doing throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, please plug those into the Q&A box. We're going to continue to answer your questions throughout the rest of the presentation. During the breakout sessions as well, you're going to have the opportunity to ask more specific questions about the individual academic areas. So I encourage you to hold on to some of those that might be more specific about the academic programs, because we'll be able to address those more specifically during the breakouts. But again, it was a really great opportunity to speak with you all tonight. I hope you all enjoy the holidays, and if for those of you who are getting snow, enjoy a snow day if you still get a snow day. At this point, I'm going to turn things over to Jean Swartz, who's the executive director of admissions operations, and she's going to lead you all through the student panel. So thanks again, and have a great night.
All right, thank you, Thomas. Hi, everybody. My name is Jean. I'm part of the admissions team, and it has been great having you all on. You guys have been so engaged tonight. Everybody's been popping questions in the Q&A. It has been terrific. So we're going to transition now to our current Shenandoah student panel. This is always such a highlight for us to have our current Shenandoah students on with us and to be telling you about their Shenandoah experience. So I think that they're with us online. So guys, if you can pop your mics on and your videos on and jump in, that would be great. And Maya, if you can start us off and introduce yourself.
Sure can. Hi, everybody. My name is Maya. I'm a double major. I'm a theater design and production major with an emphasis in stage management, and a Spanish major, and I'm a junior.
All righty. Riley, how about you?
Hi, I'm Riley, and I'm a senior nursing student.
All right. Matt, last but not least, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Matt McIntosh. I'm a sophomore sport management major from Berryville, Virginia.
All righty. So guys, one of the questions that we frequently get from students is, what have classes been like over, the last 2 semesters with having to be online? Do you still feel like you have access to your professors? Do you still feel like you're engaged in the Shenandoah community while we've been having classes in this flexible model? What has that been like? Because that's really on the mind of a lot of our students. Everybody's been taking classes online. And of course, Thomas talked a little bit about how really well, because of our technology program, we just slid right into classes back in March. But from your perspective, how are things going and how are you able to just stay engaged? Maya, as my senior, can you just pop us off on that one? I'm
Sure.
sorry, junior, gosh.
That's okay. I knew what you meant.
I know.
Yeah, we're really lucky because what happened is when this whole thing started, it was spring break, and then they were like, great, we're coming right back into it. Get your laptops out. So it was so nice that we were able to have this technology. And even in the classrooms, I was really nervous because a lot of what I do, especially in theater realm, is very people-based. So it's all about being able to interact with other people and work with other people. And we are so lucky to have professors that love that environment in the classroom. So they work so hard to make that environment in a Zoom setting, even if that meant over summer, they had little Zoom get-togethers for us so we could get together and talk with each other and see how we're doing. And this semester, I had a class with a Broadway stage manager. And even though she was in New York and we were here all on our little Zoom boxes, she made such a big effort to reach out to us and send us emails and check in on us. And we had story time at the beginning of every Zoom where we talk about something good that happened to us that day. So it's a lot of keeping a a familial environment, even in our little Zoom boxes.
Yeah. Riley, as a nursing major and someone who has labs and is so hands-on, preparing to do the work that you're going to be doing, what's that been like in your major?
The nursing school has done a really good job about keeping us involved and getting that hands-on experience that we really do need before we can go into the hospitals and work with real people. All of my classes have been in person this semester, but when we were on Zoom and everything in the spring, they would come up with super creative ideas for ways for us to still kind of practice, like doing NG tubes on boxes with holes in them and stuff like that, which sounds so weird, but it's really just the practicing, and they're so creative and so hands-on, and it really is a good experience with them and everything like that. And I've really enjoyed the transition back to class. But even when we do things on Zoom, it's still super great.
Great. Matt, man, sport management over there in the School of Business, you guys were always on the go. And then, of course, everything closed down. What's that been like over there in the School of Business?
Yeah, so the sport management program, they before COVID would travel a lot, but obviously can't right now. So they've come up with creative ways to keep us connected. I know once a month we have an alumni meetup where we can talk with SU alumni who are currently working for these professional sports teams or other colleges or grad students, and kind of ask them how their college time was like. And for my classes, all my classes were in person, but the teacher set it up so only half of the class was in class at a time and the other half was online. So I would go in on like Monday and Friday and then be online Wednesday or vice versa. So, having everything there for us with the technology that Shenandoah gives us in the MacBooks and iPads, made it seamless transition even back in the spring when everyone else was trying to catch up. We were already ahead of the game, and the professors, they're still there to help you. It's just like you're in person, but you can set up individual Zoom times or emails. It was great.
Yeah. So thanks, Matt. You kind of set me up there and you didn't even know it. You guys talk a little bit more about your professors. I think that's one of the things a lot of students want to know, like, oh, what is that like? And a lot of times I hear you guys say when you're talking with, potential students that, hey, I go to my professor's office, and a lot of students in high school are like, oh my gosh, you don't go to the teacher's classroom or their office unless you're in trouble. But can you guys talk about how it's kind of the opposite in college, right? That you want to be going to professors' offices, and how do you interact with your professors, maybe even outside of class? Riley, will you start us off on this one?
I spend so much time in my professor's office. I think they get sick of me. I mean, we laugh together, we cry together. It's such a family environment in the nursing school, and I know that that's the same across campus with other majors. I just absolutely adore them. I mean, one of my professors shared a birthday with me this semester, and she brought in cupcakes and everything for the class. And she made it a big deal, which was so embarrassing. But, it's like a family. You do things like that for each other because you love each other and you want to spend time together. So
Yeah.
I absolutely adore it.
Great. Maya, how about you?
Oh, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm so thankful to have professors that I genuinely, when I say I love them, I mean I love them like family. Anytime anything is wrong, they're there for me to rant, ask them questions, to talk about what I want to do in the future. They are always there. And like this past semester, I had a death in the family, and I was working on a show in the conservatory, and everybody was so incredibly supportive. Like instantly, when I got the call, I called my roommates, and the next thing I knew, I got my professors. They were texting me, emailing me, "What can we do to help? We love you. Do what you need to do, take time for yourself. We will work on the show. Like, don't worry about it." And I think knowing that the professors have your back is so encouraging as a student because it gives you room to try new things and feel comfortable. And I love them.
Matt, how about even before COVID? What was it like, as a, student, just being able to have access to your professors and just, yeah, what was it like even before COVID?
It always open door. For all my professors, all I would have to do, go knock. They're always in their office if they aren't teaching. And if I didn't reach out to them, I wouldn't have the opportunities I have today. Even as a freshman, I got, all these wonderful experiences that a lot of other freshmen don't get because they didn't reach out. And that's something, I was taught. One of my professors, my favorite, Dr. Polite in the sport management program, he kind of taught us right off the bat, your net worth is your network. So when you reach out to people, that's how much, you gain experiences, you gain all that information. Just like Maya said, I have professors call me if, they just to talk to me, just to see how I'm doing. And I always say, students aren't just a number here, you're a face and you're a name. And I have professors that I have never had that know my name and that walk up to me and say, hey, Matt, how are you doing? So, it's a family here. And I think everyone will say that.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's take a little bit different look at things. One of the things we hear, potential students asking and talking about is, I'm really nervous about moving to college. I have never shared a bedroom. I've never shared a bathroom. I've never had a roommate. Like, what's that going to be like? Can you guys talk about what's it like to live on campus? Matt, I know that you were a commuter student, but good grief, nobody would have ever known. You're on campus like 18 hours a day. Your mom never saw you. And so, what is that transition like coming to Shenandoah and living here? Riley, will you start us off, please?
Well, I still live on campus as a senior, so I think that speaks to what it's like being able to go and live on campus. You make these amazing friends when you're able to live with them and you spend all this time with them. And, it was hard for me at first. I'm very much a homebody. I don't like change. I'm really close with my family. But the RA staff in my building freshman year and all of the people in the dorms around me, they really just took me in and made me feel like part of their family. And it made the transition so much easier. And honestly, if I could live on campus forever, I would stay.
Matt, even though you were a commuter, man, like I said, you were like literally, you might as well have lived on campus. But what was that like? That transition to Shenandoah.
It was a lot better than I thought. There's a nice commuter network, that they get you involved in as a freshman if you do commute. I drove 45 minutes to high school. So this 15, 20-minute commute to school or to college isn't bad for me. And like Gene said, I'm never home. I'm out the door when the sun rises and I don't get back till it's dark out. So it's just it's all about getting yourself out there if you're a commuter student. And from my friends that live on campus, I've heard, nothing but great experiences.
Yeah. Maya, how about you?
Oh yeah, I'm an only child. So like at home, I had my own bed, I had my own bathroom, everything was on my schedule, it was my world. And then I came for orientation, and at SU, you're allowed to choose your roommate. It just so happened that day there was only one other person in my major, and they found me and they were like, "You want to live together?" And I love them so much that I still live with them now, and it's a junior year. And I'm so thankful because it made it so easy to come in and be like, okay, we've already established, we've talked about it. And everybody's so sweet. Like Riley said, the RAs are so incredibly kind about helping us. My poor RA, I had no idea how the shower worked or the laundry rooms where they were located, but they're so open to answering your questions. It was a super easy transition.
All right. Thomas already talked about food, you guys, but another thing, people are like, what's food going to be like at college? Thomas talked about the different places and things like that, but can you guys, from a student perspective, are you able to eat well? Do you have friends that have special, food needs? Are those being met? Those types of things. Maya, will you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I moved off campus. And off campus, you can have like a commuter meal plan. And I definitely got one because I am always on campus, and it is so much easier for me to run to the grill or run to the dining hall or we have this new restaurant called Buzzins, which is like takes the place of Perkins. And it's like a sit down restaurant, and you go and you swipe your meal card. So it just takes like a meal swipe off. And it's so easy to get, and there are healthier options, and there are options for like when I just want a slice of pizza. And you can always find something that you need at any time.
Yeah. Riley, how about you?
As a nursing major, I'm really busy all the time. So it's really nice to have those places on campus that have something quick for me to take on the go. Over in the student center, there's a fresh made salad bar, and it's in a box, and you grab a dressing and you swipe your card and you get to take a delicious salad to go. I really love that. And all the places on campus are super delicious. I love the new place over across the street. Absolutely delicious, and they have super healthy options. And one of my friends is gluten free, and they have options for her, and she absolutely loves it.
For all the parents that are on here tonight, we say thank you for eating salad. Matt, do you want to talk about how you eat on campus, since I've heard this before?
Yeah, so I don't have a meal plan, but I always grab. Jean loves to hear this. I always grab a cookie and coffee from our fantastic like cafe stand, Jasmine's, which is in the student center. Just a quick, I guess healthy meal, some could say, before breakfast or for breakfast before class. And if you need a change from the on-campus meals, if you just want to eat a meal off campus, we have tons of stuff around campus: Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, tropical smoothie. Sheets is good if that's a hot spot for campus. So but I definitely say get a cookie and coffee from Jasmine's.
Matt, I'm calling your mom again. All right. Actually, students, if I can get you to hold for 1 second, because I've got a special guest that has arrived, and then I'm going to lead into my final question for you guys to answer. So this is kind of perfect. But for our visiting students and parents tonight, I'm super excited. Our president of Shenandoah University, Dr. Tracy Fitzsimmons, is able to join us this evening. And I know that she wants to give her greetings to you and share some thoughts with you about Shenandoah. So Tracy, please say hi to everybody and jump in here.
Thank you so much, Jean. Matt, I'm sorry I interrupted you and others. I've been on another call, and so I just wanted to get off. I was like, I need to get off because I wanted to go greet prospective students and their families. Welcome to Shenandoah. I hope that you've gotten a sense this evening of some of the magic of Shenandoah, some of the warmth, the things that make us really special. You have probably, my guess, heard about how we do breadth really well. We encourage you to learn broadly, but you don't come to Shenandoah for just that. You don't come if you just want to do liberal arts. You go deep here. You do career planning and placement here. We want you to come here to learn broadly, and we want you to get a job when you graduate or to go to graduate school. And I'm the mom of 3 high schoolers. And so I'm thinking ahead too. And I want them to have an amazing education, and I want them to have a job at the end of it all. College is a really big investment, and you need to know that it pays off, both in terms of the fact that you'll be a much better, more proactive, more effective citizen, but that you'll also be able to provide for yourself and a family, and hopefully be able to help your broader community. Shenandoah is that kind of place. This is also a really wonderful place because we don't coddle you. And if you want to be coddled, please go someplace else, because that doesn't really prepare you for life. But this is the kind of place where you come to, where if you want somebody, if you fall, they'll be there to help you up, but you'll really be learning how to do it on your own as well. That sort of accompaniment, that care, that compassion, that's deeply, deeply Shenandoah. This is also a place of relevance, and that comes out in all sorts of different ways. Whether it be environmental studies companies asking our students to help them with some of their local studies of the floodplains, or whether it's a local company organization asking our business school to do strategic planning with them, or it's the local school systems, or it's Wolf Trap or Strathmore asking our students to perform, entertain, and delight. But it's also right now incredibly the relevance of what we've been able to do during the pandemic. We were open in person all fall semester. We were safe for our faculty, our students, and our staff, because Shenandoah faculty members in the School of Pharmacy, alongside of students, developed our own saliva test. We were able to do pooled surveillance testing of saliva the entire fall semester. So we were able to get ahead of the spread and keep people safe. And just last week, Valley Health System reached out and said, we need help. We need people that can vaccinate and people that can be medical observers and data entry and clerical folks to help roll out the vaccinations. And so right now, at this moment, across town, we have faculty and staff members who are giving the very first vaccinations. If that's not relevant, I don't know what it is. It's beautiful to be at a place that's deeply connected to community and to our students. We love our students. We know our students. We know them by name and their stories. So if that's not what you're looking for, there are other places that you might be in a classroom of 400 or 1,000 or even 100, but not here. This is a place where we know your name and your story, and we tell it to you like it is. And, you know, that's hard sometimes, but that's what makes us all better in the end. But we do it with lots of compassion, with some Shenandoah magic. And so I wish you and your families an incredibly wonderful holiday season. Whether you're celebrating Hanukkah now or you're looking forward to Christmas, I hope that you have family time together. And I hope that that you are safe. We always say that to our students: be vigilant, be safe, don't let your guard down now. And so you're kind of in the Shenandoah embrace right now, so I'll tell you that. Above all, Shenandoah rises. We've been strong through this pandemic, and we will continue to be strong. We had our largest incoming classes this year, and gosh, already we're on track to have a larger incoming class next year. But when Shenandoah rises, what's more important is that our students rise with us. And sometimes they help lift us up as well. So I wish you all the very, very best. And I look forward to meeting you in person someday. And thank you again for letting me jump in on your session and say hello. Take care.
All right. Thank you, President Fitzsimmons. Shenandoah students, this just is like the perfect setup. So for our visiting students, just so that you know, President Fitzsimmons often tells our students, please call me Tracy. Her back door is open. Students call her Tracy. They're not speaking out of turn. She asks them to do that. So students, I want to hear, what's your favorite Tracy story? Since our visiting students just got to meet President Fitzsimmons, Tracy, what's your favorite Tracy story? Matt, will you start us off?
Yeah, so my favorite story comes from, I think it was my admitted freshman day, and we were in the OBT, the O'Brien Theater, and I had recently broke my ankle and tore some tendons in it, so I was on a scooter, a knee scooter, and my mom and I run into Tracy, President Fitzsimmons, right in the lobby, and she had a full-on conversation with us, and then she actually walked us down to our seat because I was on a scooter, and it made me feel at home. And then, after that, my mom kind of whispered in my ear. She goes, "That was the president of the school." And I said, "Yeah, I know." And she goes, "You had food on your face." So I just found that kind of funny. But yeah, it just kind of let me know that this place is home.
Oh, don't you love moms? Aren't we the best? Yes. Riley, your favorite Tracy story?
My favorite Tracy story was my first day on campus, move-in day. We have the new student convocation, and her speech that day, and every student gets to walk across the stage and shake her hand, and she welcomes you to the family. And that was a hard day for me. So to have her kind of be like a mom figure and welcome me to her family, that was really special for me. And every time I see her on campus, she always greets you with a smile and is willing to have a conversation with you. And I absolutely adore having her on campus.
Yeah. Maya, how about you?
I agree, Riley. It's so interesting. I was thinking about what's my favorite Tracy story. There's so many times where I've just been sitting around and like you've just appeared out of nowhere, and I absolutely love it. But I think one of my favorite times you've appeared out of nowhere is I love doing like admitted day visits, and I was standing outside welcoming people, and there was music playing, and I just started dancing. It's just kind of what I do. So here I am dancing, and I'm facing one way, and I'm dancing, and I turn back, and there's Dr. Fitzsimmons standing right there. And then she just starts dancing with me. And without any words, I was like, yes, I'm so happy that I belong here. This is correct.
Maya, I have to tell you, last week when I heard that the vaccine got approved, I was in Costco when that alert popped up on my phone, and I literally was dancing in Costco. So I was channeling you.
That's the right way to react.
All right.
Wow.
I think that for our visiting students and families, these are our 3 students who, by the way, they just, finished finals. They are finally taking a deep breath. So you 3 are amazing. You guys are awesome. And I'm so thankful for you guys being here, after you finally are just done with the semester and your finals. I'm so proud of you and love having you here. But while these are only 3 stories, these are just the stories you're going to hear time and again of our students' experience here on campus. And these are very common. These aren't just one-offs. These are what you hear time and time again of our students' experiences here and just how they interact during their college education and experience. So Maya and Matt and Riley, thank you so much for being with us tonight. At this point, we are going to wrap up our student panel and actually move into our next section, which are the breakout rooms that Thomas was talking about earlier.